owner that has a number of strip malls is looking to have an ongoing series of small projects worked on over the next few years as new tenants move in and out. They should probably produce a RFP, RFS, RFQ, feasibility study. Well, feasibility study is not a bad thing to respond. It's actually a fairly reasonable idea. In this situation, like if you imagine that an owner has just bought a series of strip malls and they want to know kind of who they should be marketing to and what kinds of businesses would make sense, well, you do a feasibility study. That's the kind of thing that would be a reasonable thing for them to do. But it doesn't quite match what the question is really about. You might help with a feasibility study, but it doesn't fit to the question. So D is not the answer. So the question really is it an RFP, an RFS, or an RFQ? And that's a request for a proposal, a request for services, or a request for qualifications. And an RFP, request for a proposal, that is about when you have a specific situation. So you have an owner, they want to do a project, and they're going to ask to see who's interested in the project and what ideas do they have to bring to the table to make this project exciting and viable. So you are not just saying who's interested, you're actually asking them to provide ideas. But the question is talking about something that's happening over a span of time, multiple tenants moving in and out. Maybe you've got a couple in one year and 5 in another and none in another and 3 in another, right? So it's a constantly sort of churning along thing. An RFP is really about a specific situation. It doesn't really fit to that multiple type situation. So it's really between the RFS and the RFQ. RFQ, the request for qualifications. I would actually do an RFQ if I was doing an RFP. I would do the same work for the qualifications, but then I would add the proposal part on top of it for an RFP. Well, the same is kind of true with an RFS. An RFQ is saying, are we qualified to do the work? So it's a way of sort of pre-qualifying people so you can kind of weed out a bunch of the potential architects and their teams so that an owner can sort of focus in on making a decision between just a few. So if I'm doing an RFS, that's a big, long RFS, it essentially includes the RFQ in it. And the RFQ would be, yes, we're qualified, here's the team that we would have working on it, this is how we would sort of do this work. An RFS is going to be the answer, so it's a request for services because it's going to be an ongoing set of work. So whenever you have those situations where it's more like you're being put on retainer, it's going to be an RFS.
I think with that, we squashed everyone.
Ha! There you go. You'll see it in a few different ways. You could actually do it with RFPs and RFQs. RFQ is probably a better answer than an RFP in that situation, but an RFS would certainly fit that situation where it's this constant flow of work. You're probably doing it hourly. You're not. The whole point here is that they don't want to have separate contracts with every time a laundromat moves out. They want to be able to just kind of make something happen for the next people to be able to get them in as fast as possible.
And for those of you who are ready to start preparing for the ARE, and if you're already an AIA member, you can use coupon code 32917PMYT to get a 15% discount for the entire duration of your ARE exam prep membership. And then finally, leave a comment below the video to let us know what you think. Share any suggestions you may have. I promise we'll read every word that you write and use them to tune our next episodes. So thanks for watching.